Good morning and welcome to another Phil Oldershaw live. How are we all on this Sunday morning? It's a beautiful day outside, but of course, once more, we're all staying in. Now we know how Anne Frank felt in the Second World War. Stayed in today, but it's beautiful. Look at this. It's a gorgeous day and we've got to make the most of it indoors, haven't we? Bit of Josh Groban on the stereo this morning, and I'm just cooking up a dish here in the kitchen. It's just a simple breakfast, actually. Same again, using some ingredients that many of us may have in the cupboard. So what I've done so far is I've cooked off some bacon with some onion over the top. And I've chopped up some olives here, a little bit of garlic that's been marinated, some chorizo, some cheddar cheese slices, but they're cheddar cheese slices, not the plastic stuff. We've also got some mixed peppers there. And then I've also got this, which is a chili honey. It's a Nando's chili honey that was sitting in the fridge. I haven't actually done anything with before, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to do something with that this morning. I've heated my pan up, actually. I've burnt my pan. That's great of me, isn't it? That's a good way to start. Burn your pan, forget you've got it on. Hang on, this is going to give off some noise, isn't it? I'm holding my own phone this morning. Yeah, there we are, look. Nothing like burning your pan to start the day. So I think before that burns anymore, I'm going to throw some chorizo in there. Oh, a Mediterranean mix of vegetables. Yes, indeed. And of course, you can make this at home just by using some onion, some peppers, some olives. If you've got it, I'll get me wooden spoon. So of course, if you're using chorizo in a dish, always try and cook off some of your chorizo first, because what that will do is soften down the chorizo mix. Then we're going to throw into that, once that starts to cook a little. Can't believe I've burnt my pan to start with. That's never a good thing. Always keep an eye on the pan. But that's what happens when you're showing a view out the window. I better put that on, hadn't I? And that. Right, let's take that off for one moment. So here's my bacon, which I've already part cooked. And then I'm just going to get this beautiful chili honey oil, which I'm going to drizzle over the bacon like so. Oh, hang on. My phone didn't like that. I was doing crazy things with it. So we're going to drizzle it over the bacon. And that's a Nando's honey chili oil. And this is going to give a beautiful caramelized effect to the bacon, like you might do with a piece of pork, with a twist. So it's going to have the bite of the chili in it as well. It's going to have a really sweet flavour because of the honey, and it's really going to put a different edge to your bacon. So as you can see, my chorizo has cooked up a fair bit there already. So we're going to throw that back on the heat, and we're going to throw in with it the olives with some finely chopped marinated garlic, and then these beautiful pepper mix. We'll throw that in. I'm going to give that a good stir. And what I'll do is I'll wash my hand at the same time so I can use the other phone. Richard John Ames, good morning to you, all the way over in Sydney, all the way down under in Sydney. Who have we got on here? I see a few messages coming through. Let's just take that off for a minute and try not to drop your bacon on the floor. Fortunately, I always put my bacon on tin foil, so that's just slid straight into the oven, which is perfect because that's where it's got to go. Got to see some messages coming through. Jack Clayton, morning to you. Mediterranean mix. My mouth is watering, sounds lovely. So of course, what I'm trying to do with you each morning, as I've said, I love to cook. Love it with a passion. And I'm just trying to show you some different things that you can do at home with items that you may have in. You might not have honey, chili honey, like this, but what you might have is some chili, or you might have some dried chili flakes in the cupboard. You might have some honey, so you can just mix that together and drizzle that over your bacon as well. Evening, mate. Good day, mate. Evening. Evening. I keep forgetting it's the opposite way around. It's time-wise. I mean, accents are awful. I've never been good at accents. So I'll put the bacon back in with that chili oil over it. We've got these beautiful mix of Mediterranean veg, basically some peppers, some onion. There's a little bit of aubergine. We've chopped some olives in there and some garlic. Pardon me. I'm also going to shake. That's a shake. I'm also going to put a few drops of lemon in there. And I always like to use a bit of zest of lemon. Tony Loon, good morning to you. I was watching some of your thing earlier on, Tony. It looks like you're going to have a beautiful lunch today as well. Them mushrooms looked incredible. And of course, goat's cheese is a great thing to cook with as well. I like to stuff mushrooms with goat's cheese, or brie works quite well, because brie's a really gooey, sticky mess. It's a great cheese to cook with. Patricia, my auntie Pat, good morning to you this morning. Nice to see so many people coming on. So we're doing this Mediterranean mix. I actually like the fact that I slightly overheated the pan. It started to give off that smokiness, because we'll get that flavour, not exactly burnt, but we'll get that flavour through the omelette. So we've got those vegetables cooking there. We've got the bacon with the chili honey oil. There's a tongue twister. With the chili honeyed oil on there. And I'm just going to... It's difficult to do this with one hand. This is where I'm missing Steve this morning, holding me camera for me. I might just keep dropping it on the floor. So I'm going to show you. I'm just going to turn the bacon over here, because obviously... And what I always do with bacon, I don't know if you do this at home. You know, if you put bacon under the grill or in the pan and it curls up. What I always do is get my kitchen scissors, which are those blue ones there, and I just snip along the rind. And if you snip along the rind along here, it just stops the bacon curling up. Nice little tip for you if you didn't know that. So of course we've put a nice coating of chili oil, honey, sorry, which you can use chili oil and some honey at home if you haven't got chili honey at home, which I would imagine a lot of you probably won't have. But you can make your own variation of that. And the great thing about cooking in the kitchen is the fact that actually there aren't really any rules. It's however your taste buds work and whatever you want to try. So there we are, we've turned that bacon over. That's going back in the oven. I'm just going to slide this beautiful omelette mix back in here. So that's going to cook up now. Now what I've also done is I've pre-made this mix already. There's 3 eggs in there. 3 eggs, some creme fraiche has gone into there, some seasoning, some salt and pepper. I've also put a few splashes of Worcester sauce and also some tomato puree or tomato ketchup you can use. Tomato puree obviously is a bit more tart because it hasn't got the sweetness in, but I'm using a 50% less salt and sugar Heinz tomato ketchup, because I'd actually run out of tomato puree, so I did tell a bit of a fib there. So I've used a little bit of ketchup in there, and what that will do is give it a nice, because we're doing a Mediterranean omelette, then that will give that nice tomatoey flavour to add with these beautiful peppers, onions, courgette, olives, and some marinated garlic. Now it doesn't matter whether you put the garlic in or not, it just so happens that in my portion I add a piece of garlic. So I'm going to pour this mix in. There we are, our omelette is cooking. So how are you getting on at home, everybody? Always best to be creative with food. Call it a throw together. Yeah, I love a good throw together, because the great thing is if you know your flavours and you know how to work with it, you can always just grab things out the cupboards and freezer, have a little play around with it and turn it into something really beautiful. And if you don't like it, you just throw it away and start again. Well, my lovely friend Michelle Collins has just messaged me. Morning to you, Michelle. If you're watching, I'll read your text message imminently. So there we are. There's the colours in there. That's cooking away nicely. Let's have a look in the oven. Ouch. There's the bacon. So that bacon is cooking away. Look at that skin cooking up on there. Look, the rind on that bacon is looking lovely. You can actually see it spitting around there. And now what we want to do is just get that omelette to cook together. Now, I'm not very good at keeping omelettes whole, so as I'm shaking that around, I know that by the time that's cooked, it will be in loads of different pieces, and by the time I serve it, it'll be a mess. So this lovely cheese that we got, so it's cheese slices, but it's not the plastic cheese slices, it's proper cheddar cheese. So I'm just going to put that over the top. And what that will do is that will melt into that beautiful mix of Mediterranean vegetables with the olives, the egg, the tomato, the Worcester sauce, the salt and pepper. There you are, look. So that's now cooking away there. I'm happy with that. I'm going to poppity ping 2 plates in the microwave. I can see quite a few messages coming through. Sorry that I'm not having a chance to read through them all. That's a great tip. Thanks. Oh, was that for the bacon, I'm hoping? Yeah. Lisa Rogers, good morning to you. Phil, can you give my website a plug, please? angelaromas.co.uk, candles, wax melts, wax burners, bath bombs and much more. Oh, that's beautiful for while we're stuck at home as well. Surely we should be pampering ourselves a lot more. And you know, as I've said on some of my other lives, this is actually a great opportunity. Sometimes, you know, we're forced to do things, whether it be you know, we put out of work by a job, or a family member passes away, whatever it may be. In this instance, coronavirus. And we're made to look at our lives. See what I mean by, when I do it, look, an omelette just, when you put all these ingredients in, it just falls apart. But actually, as I said before, there's no rules. Just mix it up. Just mix it up. Turn it into a bit of a mix where it's all cooking in the pan. The main thing is we just want to get a nice bit of cook through on that. It won't be completely rigid because we've got all those Mediterranean vegetables cooking away in there. But what it will be is that we want the egg to cook through. So we've got the texture of the egg, and then we've got the different texture of the vegetables as well. Probably burning my bacon now. I am. In fact, that bacon looks absolutely perfect. So let me show you this. We've got some, because we put the chilli honey on there and we put it on the edges as well, the bacon has crisped up on the sides, exactly what we want to happen. That fat we want to cook out. I may have slightly overdone the sides of that bacon, but that is absolutely perfect for what we want to achieve. So I'm going to move that down to the bottom of the oven. And of course, the most important thing, if you're using sugars on meats, you have to remember that they will cook up, they'll dry up, they'll crystallise as well. And that's all part of the great experience of cooking with them, because you get this beautiful texture and you'll get the flavours that are intense coming through, but you'll also get the crispness from it as well, which will change the density, so you'll get the softness of the meat as well as the crispness of the sugar that's crystallised with the bacon itself. And in this point, you don't want that fat on the bacon. You want to cook that down as much as possible, a bit like if you're cooking duck in the oven and you want to crisp off the duck fat, but you want the juiciness of the meat. So there we are. So that will just sit down there nicely now until we're ready to serve up the omelette. So how are you all coping? We haven't even got to a full week of isolation at home yet, and I see people are doing all sorts, from going on different apps on their phones to posting all sorts of weird and wonderful things. You know, some of the stuff I've seen taking place on Facebook already is post a letter that describes me, and everybody has to comment what word beginning with a letter P or C or whatever it is reminds them of them. Post a picture of a beach. That's a new one. I actually done that one yesterday. I posted a picture of me on a beach in Mexico. That one was a really great holiday that I had with my friends Neil, Andy, Tracy, Adam, Al. I don't think Kirk was on that one, actually. It was the first one. And obviously it brings great memories, and it's lovely to see pictures of people's holidays or them being on a beach somewhere with family or friends. Put pan under the grill when done, on side, don't need to turn it on. What else have we got, Tony? Another tip, once you've fried everything, take it out the pan, then let the base of the omelette set. Yeah, it doesn't really work with my one, Tony, because there's so many lovely vegetables in there, and I do actually like to mix it all up. So I just mix my omelette up. When I'm using a lot of ingredients in there, then I just mix it up and make something quite tasty with that. What else we got? Lisa Rogers, I think it's great. Lots of people reconnecting and going back to basics. Going back to basics is one of the best things to do sometimes, because you know, we have to take a step back and just remember who we are as people, and we live such busy lives that we can get caught up in the mundane of day-to-day life. And a lot of people, there's that age-old question, do you live to work or work to live? Well, the answer to that question should be, you work to live. You go to work to be able to make enough money to be able to do nice things in life, put food on the table, spend time with family, have holidays, that sort of thing. But some people get confused and they spend the whole of their life living to work. And actually, what do you have to show at the end of that? You might have a lot of materialistic things, but what quality time have you spent with loved ones, friends, family, partner, that sort of thing? And I think that's really, really important. So utilise this time as much as many don't want it. And I'm a people person, you know, I'm a presenter, I mix, I network all the time, as you see. So for me to be able to be away from people is not the best thing for me, hence why I really appreciate you engaging with these lives that I do. Right, I've mixed up this here, so that's my Mediterranean omelette that's basically turned into a bit of a almost like jambalaya mix. I'm going to put these plates out. That I could just do with another few seconds on the poppity ping. And of course, for those that didn't know, you can always stick your plates in the microwave for 30 seconds just to warm the plate through. Doesn't do the plate any harm at all. Of course, everything on this planet and in the universe is made up of energy that just vibrates at different levels. That includes us, that includes the plates, that includes the energy in the microwave that warms the plate, and it just makes the density of these plates move around a bit, which is what gives it the warmth. So there we are. So I'm now going to serve up this mix. Now this might be difficult with one hand, so let me just find out the best way I can do this. Right, we'll try and do it with one hand. We'll see how it goes, I don't know. So I'm going to, literally this Mediterranean mix that's got cheese, peppers, olives, look at the heat off that, it's steaming quite nicely. I'm going to try not to make too much mess. It's got cheese in there, it's got a bit of garlic in there as well. Some beautiful, beautiful mixed peppers. Some tomato ketchup or tomato puree, whatever you've got in your cupboard. Some Worcester sauce, a few shakes of that. It's like every chef's secret ingredient. You have to keep some Worcester sauce in the kitchen. It's got some, come on, get on there. It's got some seasoning on there, salt and pepper. are. Let's put that one in there. And then we're going to get the bacon out that we've cooked to perfection with a nice crisp chili oil coating around the outside. Look at that bacon. Oh my gosh, it smells delicious. We've put on it this lovely Nando's chili honey. But as I've said, you can make any sort of chili honey yourself by mixing some chili honey, some chili peppers in there, either fresh or not, or then what do you call it, the chili flakes. So this is a nice light breakfast because we'll be doing some lunch later on today. So this will just get us started with some nice essential vitamins in those peppers. Also get the flavours going. Get that onion on there. So there you are. This is, let's just try and show you this. So to start the day, licking my fingers, always a naughty thing to do. There we have it. So it's a Mediterranean omelette that we've shuffled around a bit, and bacon cooked with chili, honey. I'm just going to break a piece off there, and I'm just going to try that and give you some feedback. Oh my gosh. So I use a smoked bacon. That's so you get the smokiness of the bacon coming through, but the honey, because it gives a contrast, it's got a little edge to the chili, which titillates the taste buds, activates those receptors. And then you've got the sweetness in the contrast of the smokiness of the bacon. It is absolutely incredible. If you try nothing else, try that chili, only a little bit of chili in there. Chili, honey. It's almost like a tongue twister. Chili, honey, oil. And put it over, cook the bacon. The flavour you'll get from that is intense. Look, I'll do another live later. That's just a little breakfast idea for you. Just a reminder what went into the omelette. There was some chopped olives, a little bit of chopped garlic in there. There was some Mediterranean vegetables, which includes courgette, red and yellow peppers, and some onion. We then made up the omelette mix, which was 3 eggs, a dollop of creme fraiche. You don't need that. You can use cream or milk in there as well. We put some Worcester sauce, some tomato ketchup or tomato puree in there, just a squeeze, just a dollop, tablespoon's worth, and some salt and pepper. Give that a good mix, get some air into it, pour it in with your vegetables in the pan, and voila, that's what we made. I hope you have an enjoyable breakfast and you titillate your own taste buds, and I'll look forward to catching up with you all later. All right, love you, take care, bye bye.